to Poets at War, a podcast documenting the brood of writers, where art, theology, philosophy, and fun beckon your ears. Today on the program, our troops gather in the barracks to discuss the tactical importance of singing all the verses of a hymn. We take a look at the personnel files of a new sci-fi universe, and we end with a heavy theological skirmish regarding the waters of baptism. Stay tuned!
God of song, said the warrior bard, though all the world betray thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful harp shall praise thee.
Recorded November 11th, 2025.
I had to grab the scripture references, the order of worship, and I wrote them down. Now I'm about to actually decide which songs.
Cool.
We do 5 songs. That's 4 before the sermon, 1 after. 1 at the beginning of service. Yeah, so what we do is we start with a scripture reading, pray, then we sing, then we have an exhortation, confession of sin, an assurance of pardon, and then we sing again. We have our confession of faith, we sing again. We do our congregational prayer, and then, wouldn't you know it, we sing again. Then we have our sermon, offertory, communion, sing one more time, do the doxology, and commissioning from there. And I'm trying to make it so that the songs I choose line up with the service properly, which usually means, well, I say usually, what it's going to mean is reading the passages that we have, because we're still building these systems out properly. Which, speaking of singing, Aaron.
Yes.
Bro.
What?
That song.
Check.
Yeah. The Immortal Gods, dude.
Yeah.
I kept listening to that for a few days in a row. I was obsessed. I still kind of am. I just was back then too. I really liked it, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think whenever you were recording it, I mean, obviously that's not a final version. I'm sure you could tell with the compression, because whenever it was recorded, it was probably too high, which means it clips. But dude, like, if that gets properly mastered and everything,
Properly recorded and mastered, yeah.
Yeah, properly recorded and mastered. Nice. I was blown away. I was like, this guy's getting some really awesome harmonies here.
Agreed. Mike was cutting out there for a second, but I think I'm back. So, what have been some of your jams lately for worship service that you've been kind of stuck on, Jesse?
Rise Again, Ye Lion-Hearted.
Classic.
That's a really, really fun one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We threw that into the mix this past fall, and literally everybody loves it. My niece will keep like humming it and actually singing like the first verse over and over again. Like everybody, gosh, it's a good one. It's a fun one.
Yes,
everybody knows it by heart by now.
That's good.
Sing a New Song, which is I think 98. Hold on.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, sing a new song to the
Lord. Wonder. Yeah, 98. For one, which is I was actually planning on having be one of the songs, but I don't think we have I doubt we have a cover of 123.
So how many do you do? 4 songs in a service? 4
5 total
songs? 5 total?
Technically 6 if you count the doxology.
Okay, gotcha.
But
yeah, I think we do
5
4.
that we changed.
And you never cut verses, I'm guessing, because you're you.
I never what?
Never cut verses because you're you, right?
No. Well, we all have packets, so there would be no point in doing that.
I always thought it was funny. I saw a TikTok not long ago. A guy said, "I only know a couple people are gonna know what I mean, but I know some of y'all are feeling as lonely as the third verse in a Baptist hymnal." Oh boy.
And not the truth.
But yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, for particularly when you get to a church that's good enough to have "Be Thou My Vision" in their hymnal and actually sing it on occasion, but they always leave out "Be Thou My Battle Shield Sword for the Fight" or whatever variant there is for it. They always leave. Yeah. So, because there's lots of variations on that one, but they always leave that one out, and I'm like, come on, guys, come on.
Thou my soul shelter, thou my high tower, raise thou me heavenward, O power of my power. That and Come Thou Fount, they do usually take out the fifth verse.
Yes.
No, the fourth and fifth.
Usually,
and I repeat the first. I don't imagine they usually sing any covers of any versions of Psalm 2 at any point. Which is Psalm 2,
I don't usually see a problem in the South, at least. It's only when you get to Babies Crushing Heads on Rocks, which is that one, 90-something?
Yeah, that's 137.
137, excuse me, 137, yeah. It's only when you get to 137 that you usually have any issues in the South with singing any of the hymns. But they'll also get weird about, like, reading Song of Solomon in the company of kids and stuff like that too, and I'm just like, come on, guys. You're okay with kiss the son lest he be angry, all his enemies under his feet, all that kind of stuff, but you're not okay with my love and my soul, etc., etc. It's like, come on.
Yeah, the one we have Psalm 2 with is to the Diet Amata.
Yes. Yep. The one that I like is Kingsfold, which is why do the heathen nations rage? Why vain things do people mind? I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Combined. That's really good. It says, thus against the Lord they speak, thus against his Christ they say, let us join our bands to break, let us cast their cords away. It's a really good tune.
The one that I'm really excited to get into get back into the order. We've been doing it at Bible study for a while. Is Before Thee Let My Cry Come Near.
What are you doing, Hazel?
Have you ever heard that one?
Yes, I have. Oh yeah. Well, I call it 119X because that's what it is in the Book of Psalms for singing.
Yeah.
Say goodnight.
It's a fun one. And our folks have been getting pretty good at it on Wednesday nights, but I'm looking forward to.
Good night. Good night. Mr. Jesse said good night. Close the door. And Miss Abby. All right. Anyway. But yes, 119X is good. It's just getting people to deal with the round and everything. It's a Sacred Harp tune. Are you familiar? Do you know what Sacred Harp music is?
Sacred Heart isn't Catholic?
Harp. H-A-R-P. Sacred Harp.
Oh. I was like...
Also known as...
Aaron.
No. Also known as shape notes. They have shape note hymnals. It's a very old Appalachian thing.
I thought it...
The tune goes back further. Yes. Yes, correct. Okay, gotcha. But the it was used and commonly brought over in the Appalachian hymnals because of the round that they added on to. I believe the Appalachians actually added the round. But I gotta pull up some. Let me pull up the Wikipedia for Sacred Harp music. But Sacred Harp is a very interesting type of hymnody that. Yeah, I'll just read a little bit from this and put this in the chat here. It says, sacred harp singing is the tradition of sacred choral music which developed in New England and perpetuated in the American South. The name is derived from the sacred harp, a historically important shape note tune book in 1884. Shape notes were an easier music notation. Multiple subsequent revisions of the tune book have remained in use since. Sacred harp singing has roots in the singing schools that developed over the period 1770 to 1820 in and around New England. Related development under the influence of revival services around the 1840s. This music was included and became profoundly associated with books using shape note style of notation popular in America in the 18th and early 19th centuries. It was also very heavily influenced, especially later on in the harmonies, by a lot of Cherokee in the South. When you listen to it, you can hear the harmonies. Actually, some of them sound like powwows. Like, I'm not even joking. They really sound amazing. Another good example is, is Antioch, which is... Oh, it's not the Joy to the World Antioch. That's also called Antioch, but the other one... I know that my Redeemer lives, glory, hallelujah.
Yeah. Okay, so but in that case, we've been doing a lot of sacred harp singing. We've actually started to on Wednesday nights split into 4 groups. So I guess I have not been familiar with the terminology, but we have been doing it.
Yeah. Yep. Have you seen Over the Garden Wall, Jesse? Okay. They use they use some sacred harp music in Over the Garden Wall as well, so that was why I brought it up. But it's a very distinctly American form of hymnody, and it's formed partially also by especially in the South, by Negro spirituals and Cherokee harmonies as well, and so it has a really, really distinct sound to it that I just think is absolutely, like, it gets my blood flowing being Appalachian and all that. All right. What's been up, Abby?
Not been up much today. Just reading.
Okay.
And kind of some writing stuff.
I gotcha. Did you see the, I think you reacted to it. I don't remember the thing that I created with all the characters and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I went through it.
Brood.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yep. I had a fun time doing it. Took a couple days.
I can't remember which is the ship name. I think it's HG or GH. I don't remember.
Yeah, GH is the Gentleman's Highline, yeah.
Yeah, that one. It looks fun.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the different aesthetics of the ships and people on them.
Yeah. The Magnus Canis is the main group with the main characters and stuff, and the daughter of the captain is the daughter of the guy who got captured, the high-ranking official that I mentioned in the chat. So,
yeah, I figured. You continue. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just making a joke. The initials of that ship are MC for main character.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah. It was Magnus Canis because when I was first picturing the ship, I wanted something similar to the Great Fox from Star Fox. Like, this was years ago. And my nickname playing baseball when I was like 11 or 12 was Big Dog. So I just made that Latin, basically. I know it's Great Dog, technically, but you know what I mean. So, like, yeah, it's a great dog, Magnus Canis, so.
That makes sense.
You're just playing, it's cool. I would ask, if you're going to play for us, you should turn off the noise cancellation. I know you're not playing for us, but, like, I'd love to hear it and not be cutting in and out. Hazel's been trying to listen to my story most nights, the Guardians of Atlanta one, and she's not allowed to have the phone in her room at night, so she has to connect it to a Bluetooth speaker, and she's lost the phone, so basically we're dealing with all that, so. You tell her. You tell him. Go ahead.
So Peter was showing me this tiny little crocheted hat that came off of a sock monkey or a doll or something. And he said, "Could this be the baby's Christmas hat?" And I said, "Well, hopefully the baby is not going to be here by Christmas." And so he asked, "Well, how old will they be when they are here for Christmas?" And so I'm trying to help him like count that out. And I said, "Well, if their birthday is in March," and Hazel goes, "Wait a minute, your birthday is the day you were born?"
Oh, that is hilarious and adorable.
It makes so much more sense now.
He said it makes so much more sense now.
And I said, "Well, yes." And she said, "So I was born on February 3rd?" "Yes, you were." And she said, "Wow, I didn't know that." and you know, I didn't want to like bust out laughing at her. And so I just said, "Wow, I didn't know you didn't know that."
Oh, to have the wonder of a child.
He said, "Oh, to have the wonder of a child."
Yeah.
But yep. What was the other thing today that I think it was Peter said?
Yeah, I learned that spanking works
because
they were playing something with each other where Peter was supposed to be the dad and Hazel was supposed to be the child, and she was being a very obstinate child. And he said, "Well, if nothing bad ever happens to you, then you're never gonna get good because spankings teach you lessons."
Amen.
He said amen. Oh, that's good. So yeah, that was the other funny one today. Oh boy. I'm enjoying the vibes right now. Just some acoustic Jesse chilling. What'd you say, Casey?
That's a weird way to say that.
Yeah. Is he making any progress lately, Abby?
Define progress. Yes and no.
Thinking about your stuff in a productive way. How about that?
So I've been doing a little more than that. So yeah, progress.
That's good.
Yeah, I figured out today that the troll trips over a tree branch, and that is how the centaur gets the advantage to finish him off.
Got it. Okay. Well, that'll be good.
Yeah, even. Yeah, it's coming along.
Good.
But
Good to hear.
I've been mostly reading Out of the Silent Planet. I think I mentioned that in the chat.
Yeah. How are you liking it this time around? A lot better?
Oh yeah, I never got past like the first paragraph before.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I'm enjoying it very much.
I highly... Yeah, good. I highly recommend listening to Paralandra when you get there, because a lot of it is dialogue. And it tends to be quite taxing just reading it visually. But when you have someone reading it or performing it, it's actually a lot easier to follow because it's mostly dialogue.
Interesting. Interesting. We do have the whole set. We have paperbacks available, so I might try to read it, see how it goes. And if I find it hard to follow along, then I will look up the audios.
I'm sure you could probably find it on YouTube. You could like even do a read along, you know?
I found several audio versions of the one I'm reading now on YouTube earlier. So I was actually looking to see if there's any like animated or film versions of it. And I was surprised
don't think there
by
are.
the lack thereof.
Yeah, I don't think they ever did that. That would be fun.
Kind of surprised.
That would be fun to work on.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, nobody ever did this before.
Yeah. I feel like Paralandra would be really hard to do. But the other two would be really great animated.
Yeah. I don't know, I really like C.S. Lewis's writing style in this so far, because it's not a lot of the like technological lingo type stuff that gets wrapped up in this control does this and this is why this works this way.
Yeah, it's not mechanistic. Yeah,
but it's still like educated, like his vocabulary and stuff. So I enjoy that.
From the chapel to the strategy room, General Ling unrolls the map and reveals the origins of the Knights of Adonai. We also get a briefing on proper attire for the Renaissance Festival before deep diving into the character rosters of a sprawling sci-fi universe.
I have some of my Guardians of Atlanta stuff that's posted in the blog. It's that doesn't get into the issues, but I have a specific epic poem series that I'm writing for them that's a origin story for the Knights of Adonai, which are part of my superhero world, but they have what do you call it, historical roots, not in the real life but in fiction. They have historical roots in the Crusades, and so I'm writing the origin of the Knights of Adonai during the Crusades as something for the magazine, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So it's like a historical fiction poem.
Yes,
right?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the Knights of Adonai in my superhero world are a group of Reformed Presbyterian Protestant knights, because there's really not a reason that Reformed Presbyterians, because of their heritage, doctrinally shouldn't have some form of knights like a lot of the other various denominations do. They would probably be a lot less ornate, but there's really no reason they shouldn't have them. And so with orders like the Knights of Columbus and things like that, I kind of took that idea, but then made them like hyper reformed. And they're essentially a paramilitary security group that does security for church events all over Georgia. They're affiliated with this particular group of Knights of Adonai. This chapter, so to speak, is affiliated with one church. But they started in Britain during the Crusades as a right after the Crusades, basically, when the Knights Templar imploded. And they started either executing or exiling all kinds of different Templars and whatever else. There was a monk in England who asked if he could take the cast-offs that they felt like they couldn't convict of anything, so that they could, all they would have to do is take a vow of never talking about anything they did ever again, basically, and they would have a blank slate. And in his order to basically carry out whatever vows they've already made and live their life, the rest of their life, just helping their community. And so it was like a halfway house for Templars that they couldn't get rid of. Templars and whoever else that they couldn't get rid of. And so that turned into, over time, they became Anglican, and then later on Presbyterian, through the whole Reformation process and everything. But they remained a group of knights, basically bound to very simple oaths of helping the community and helping each other stay true to the faith, and that's how it all started. So yeah, those are the Knights of Adonai. Babylon is Fallen. Is that yours?
No, it's not mine. But do you know it?
English Puritan song. I think I do, but I have to listen. Give me a second. I'll listen just a little bit here when it loads. I have pop or ad blockers, and so sometimes YouTube decides, no, you have to wait for the same length as the ad, even if you don't see the ad. Alright, here we go.
So long expected, hail the day of full release. Zion's walls are now
Oh yeah, I have heard this.
and the watchmen publish peace.
It's been a while since I heard that one, but yes, I do know that one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. We're going to the Renaissance Festival on Saturday.
Oh yeah?
Oh! And it'll be me, my brother,
Are
my
you
sister.
preaching or going for fun or both?
We'll see.
I love it.
Singing mainly. I think singing would
Yeah.
be the. I want to see how many people I could get singing. I don't mean bringing a bunch of sheets. That would be impractical.
No.
But I mean like a call and response song would be pretty cool to do. Yeah, that'd be nice. And singing in 4-part harmonies with my siblings. Well, I mean, there's going to be 3 of us, but there's also another church member who's going to be there, and he's got a few of his friends in another circle coming as well. So, yeah, hold on. Give me a second.
So this is why you need me there for stuff like that once I can get to where I'm traveling more. Because my voice carries, as you know.
Is Jesse frozen?
Let it go.
I'm always
let
frozen.
It go.
What were you saying?
My sister.
Anyway.
I have a sister named Elsa, and everyone's always like, "Oh, from Frozen."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And she's like,
Oh.
"Let it go."
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
I'm looking forward to it though, because I'll be bringing my guitar, the parlor one at FLF, and
Yeah.
I'm also going to be wearing it's far from anything that actually looks like a Puritan, because it's not like older clothes, but at least the color scheme is what we usually recognize as Puritan, even though the Puritans wore a lot of color.
Yes.
But
It's
at the very
Pilgrim,
least,
not Puritan.
yeah, Pilgrim, yeah. And the I also have a Plague Doctor mask.
Oh, fun.
That I'm bringing as well. I think I had sent that somewhere in the chat a while back.
I remember hearing about that.
Abby, what did you say?
I was wondering if he wants another crocheted plague doctor.
I mean, I would not
Crocheted one, that'd be
at
fun.
all. I would not at all say no. Actually, my sister did get me a crocheted Plague Doctor for Christmas last year.
I know.
That is
you
fun.
mentioned that.
That is a
You
sweet
mentioned
Mad
that.
Hatter outfit, too.
Right? That guy was there like every single time.
Who's the other person costumed as?
That's my sister. She is currently going as a scout from Attack on Titan.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because last time I had gone with a guitar, people tried to give me money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big no-no. That can actually get me kicked
Yes. Yep.
out. Because if I was working for or with them, they wouldn't have a problem with it. But I'm just going as like a visitor, so I have to make absolutely sure that people don't try to give me money. Because that's a problem.
Yep. You should have a shirt or something that says shake my hand" instead. Let me mute my mic and talk to Hazel real quick. I'll be right back.
Ice is very cold.
Yes. Yes, it is. That's the function.
part of the point.
Thank you for that. Was it physics lesson or science lesson?
Chick-fil-A cup.
Fun fact of the day: ice is cold.
It's still cold. You'd think,
Wow.
after having left it here for a little while, it wouldn't be as cold. Still cold. It actually got freezing last night. That was nice.
Yeah, it
So
was.
Jesse, you want?
below.
Sorry, go ahead, Abby.
It was cold here. You go ahead.
Well, it was
finally
cold,
got
like
cold here,
60
too.
degrees is 60 degrees is as cold as it gets in the winter in Texas.
It was 37 this morning.
Oh, nice. I think we
Not-
got down to like only 38.
It was 28 over here this morning.
How does
Yeah.
that even happen?
I think it has something to do with the Atlantic coast kind of thing.
I think it's
Yeah.
witchcraft. Is what it
Tonight,
is.
there's supposed to be like a winter storm hitting Florida, and it's gonna bring it down a lot of temperature. Yeah. Someone that I know in Florida keeps posting that winter storms are hitting there. So
I
might be
believe
affecting
it.
Georgia.
Yep, it's affected. I mean, it came down from the north, so
Oh.
I
It's from
need to go
Brendan.
deal with my daughter. She's distraught at the moment because she can't find the phone to listen to my story. Anyway, I'll be back. Jesse, can you take a look at the link there on the PDF and just see what I've been working on? Abby, can you fill him in on what I said it was? I'll be right back.
I guess so, yeah.
What?
So it's his characters that he's, or his Idiot's Guide to something. I don't know. I forget what it's called. But it's all the characters and their ships.
I bet that's freaking helpful.
What?
Oh, I'm saying, I bet it's helpful.
Oh, yeah. It looks very organized. Some of the characters look really cool. But I'm pretty sure they're side characters.
I wonder if he needs extra voice actors for this. Because I would totally do this. Oh, wait, I think he's able to hear me. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
You basically just like sign a
Oh, I
contract.
could hear you. Anyway, no, it's fine. Also, I'm recording it, so I would have heard it later anyway. But okay, so basically, what this is all these characters are coming together because basically we have a sci-fi universe with a big bad evil empire, and we have a generally benevolent but overbearing good republic. And so basically the bad guys captured a high-ranking military official who happens to be the father of Amanda Canine, who is the captain of the Magnus Canis. Those are our main characters on the Magnus Canis. You can see each of those columns is kind of a ship, right? And their crew for the most part, with the exception of the loners category. Those are, solo operators or whatever. And so basically, rather than risk open war, the Republic really can't do anything. And if open war comes as a result of these sorts of things, basically, what are you noticing? Someone who looks like someone you know?
No, I'm looking at Wendell.
Wendell is the AI for the Magnus Canis. Yes,
It's a dog.
It's not a dog, but that's the logo for
It's an AI, but it's a dog.
Yeah. Well, what's the name of their ship? What is that in Latin?
Magnus Canis, yeah. And her name is Amanda Canine. That's hilarious.
Yep, exactly. What's up, Brendan?
I do not have a lot of time because I have to be up at 4 a.m. But I saw you and I wanted to say hi. So hi.
Hello.
What's you getting up at 4 a.m. for?
Work. Starting at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. and or 1 p.m., 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's frankly better than the other shifts because I don't have to deal with people for half of it.
Yep.
That's super helpful.
Yep. So
Is that at a Hobby Lobby?
Yes.
Nice.
Correct.
I did listen to that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I gave,
Was it everything you hoped and named I would write? Or was it not quite what you were looking for? Like I suspect.
Hold on.
The Hobbity thing you were
restate
telling.
your question.
Is that, remember when you challenged me to write basically Hobbiton, but not?
Yeah, well, it was more about the emotional impact of the passage. It doesn't mean it need to be a copy or translation of the Hobbiton. I thought it worked really well, especially with the song form. I haven't had the chance to listen to the song again because there was a lot in it that I didn't pick up the first time. But I did like the as you'd even stated, the melancholy of the recalling of his homeland, and the sunsets were particularly nice with the purple orange change in the sky was a nice little visual cue.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have expectations, but my expectations are not the people I expect them to be. I don't know if that makes sense. My expectation of people is not who the people are. So I don't really hold them as though they are 100% accurate. I would prefer you to write what you wrote rather than something that I would have had you write, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, I guess. Probably. Maybe.
Brendan,
I don't know.
Casey wanted to tell you something.
Oh,
Go
hi,
ahead.
Casey.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so Jesse already heard these, but we had two funnies with the kids today.
Okay.
The first one was, today is the day that Hazel learned that your birthday is the day you were born. We were talking about...
Rewind it. It did break out a little bit.
Say it again. They didn't hear. Here, put these on.
Okay.
Go ahead. Say it again, Casey.
Okay. Today is the day that Hazel learned that your birthday is the day you were born. Peter was talking about Christmas and the baby, and I was telling him how, like, hopefully the baby won't be here by this Christmas. And so then we were trying to figure out how old will the baby be by next Christmas. And I said, well, if their birthday is in March, and Hazel said, wait a minute, your birthday is the day you were born? And I said, well, yes, it is. And she was just shocked. And she said, so I was born February 3rd? And I said, well, yes, you were. And she got like so excited. And she said, wow, I didn't know that. And since I didn't want to like laugh at her and make her feel bad, I said, wow, I didn't know you didn't know that. And then the other one was Peter basically cementing for me that spanking works, because him and Hazel were playing some game where he was supposed to be the dad and she was being a very rebellious child. And he said to her, well, if nothing bad ever happens to you, then you won't be good, because spankings teach you lessons. So those were it.
I have nothing but fear and trepidation now. It is amusing, but I have nothing but fear and trepidation now. Man, I have. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the fact that there's a possibility of two Tristans running around is going to be very terrifying to me.
Oh, yeah.
They're multiplying.
They are multiplying.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to. I have a friend in my church who loves prequel memes. When the next baby is born, I'm going to send a gif of that line to him.
If he doesn't do it first.
He doesn't do it first.
And if he beats you in the race, you can say, now this is pod racing.
This is true. This is true. I could say that if I really wanted to. The question is, do I really want to? And I'm not sure the answer to that is yes. Okay. It is 9:42. I have to be up in 6 hours and 15 minutes, so I'm going to leave.
Get you some
Fairly-
sleep,
Good
bud.
night, Brendan.
Good night, for the well citizens.
Alrighty. Was what a button?
Or Plato.
What are you talking about?
Jesse's hand.
Oh, what is that on your hand, Jesse?
It's a washing machine hose return cap.
A washing machine hose return cap.
Oh, it is neither Plato or nor button.
She said it is neither Play-Doh nor button.
I mean, it kind of looks like a button.
Yep. So. But yeah, the thing you were looking at that I made, basically I had this thing where they all kind of had to team up to save Amanda Canine's dad because none of them want war either. It's bad for everybody. And the government can't do anything about it because if they do, it's immediately full war. And so basically I had the general gist of each of these crews and the idea that there were loners, and I had to decide, okay, I really do sort of need to know who's going with who, how they're consolidating power, how they're attacking strategically, and like who ends up dying. And I need like a very specific list of everything, or else I'm going to lose track of everything. And so this was my way of doing it, was essentially generating the entire crew of each one of these and trying to make them as interesting as possible. I even have some general ideas and backstories for some of these others, but this is the thing that I do best when it comes to world building, is characters. And so this is a story that I did not think was possibly going to have a second season, and now I'm thinking the second season is probably going to be with a different crew. The Magnus Canis is the main crew for the season that I'm writing. I'm almost done with it. But these other crews were just so interesting. And some of the other stories and after this, you know, the certain ones that die, how does that leave a hole in the team, you know, all that other sort of stuff. I figured out that if you look in the loners category, what's her name, Cass Meridian, I figured out, oh, well, she's obviously Amanda's friend from her academy days when she thought she was going to follow in her father's footsteps as a military person. But both of them decided they were going to go off and form their own thing. So she's actually one of the original members of the Magnus Canis, but she left because she found her niche in bounty hunting, which was a different line than Amanda, who was more into the illegal tech repair side of things. And so basically they're friends, but they've had to be long distance, so they're like, you know, old friends. And she so yeah, there's like all kinds of different things like that I'm like, this ties to that and that ties to this, and I was just a kid in a candy store creating all this, you know. So Aaron's back.
Yeah.
I love how it's almost steampunky, but it's like space. Yes,
it's the Specially Gentleman's Highline. they're steampunk to the core.
Yeah. With George Mix and Make.
Yes. He's the most kindly old man you'd ever know that goes and fixes things illegally for you. Don't worry about
like
that.
Robin
We'll take care of that
Williams.
for you. A little bit, yeah. He's like a chubby Robin Williams-y kind of guy. Yeah. They're one of the other ones with an AI, and theirs is Jeeves. You can see him down at the bottom.
If you need extra voices.
Okay.
I mean, I have like a whole recording studio right here.
Okay, for real though, you know what I'd really love to do with you? Because this is something that's been a long time coming. I would love to set aside at some point when you need a vacation of sorts and can't afford it, so to speak. Not a physical vacation, but like a mental vacation, right? Set aside 5 hours, 6 hours roughly, to read through Guardians of Atlanta with me and record it. Back and forth, like I did with Alex. That way you can enjoy the full epic and give your feedback as we go, and we can have it as a thing that can be either at least put up on the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that would be the greatest thing to start. And then you can help me come up with ways to get more people to do voices and what we should do production-wise to actually make these things, because I've been kind of circling around the drain of how these things should be produced in general for a while, and I would really love someone else who knows production to be like, dude, this is exactly how these things should be done, and at least give me your thoughts on a vision. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a good chunk of time, but we could do it over a period of time too if that was better. So
Yes, sorry, I'm mildly preoccupied as well, but yeah, that would be nice, because I have been meaning to actually listen to them, because like you always mention them, and I always feel terrible for never having heard them or read them or anything.
right,
And I'm
right.
like, golly, what a
And
jerk.
Alex does such a good job hyping them. Like honestly, I'm surprised more people haven't read them just because he's so hyped on them. So you are preoccupied. Something's confusing you. He's very confused, y'all. He's held that face
Yes,
for
he
what, like
is.
15 seconds?
Half a minute.
Anyway.
I think I'm missing some photos.
Uh-oh.
Breaking this down by class is so difficult. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to arrange some school photos, and they're well, it's difficult to tell which grade they are just based off of the way they look, and I didn't exactly have these cataloged anywhere easily. I'm kind of just having to guess which ones.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know the senior class had its own. I think the senior class had its own photo. That looks like the senior class. Oh my gosh, you get a bunch of high schoolers in a photo. Good luck having them all make a smiling face.
Right? Oh boy.
Look at this dude. Jude the dude.
Oh man.
Right, those are seniors.
So the troll has been slain.
The troll's been slain. Hurrah!
Yeah. Party time. Except the other character's almost dead.
Oh no.
Yeah. But he will live.
But that makes getting out of that scene easier, because then it's like, well, however he wakes up is how it happens.
I guess. Yeah, so one of these days I'll have a short story finished.
But it is not this day.
Well, technically it's finished. I'm editing it.
Yeah.
So I know what's going to happen next. But yeah, editing is not this day finished.
I don't think there was a 10th grade. I think it skipped the 10th grade.
It's nice.
Aesthetically, who was your favorite crew, Jesse? Because you like some of those aesthetics, I could tell.
One second.
You're good. No rush.
Oh, mark me rushed then.
Just because you're being contrarian?
I didn't grow up in the country. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh boy.
I did admittedly like the Gentleman's Highline.
Yeah.
Same. I like the demolitions expert. Looks like fun.
Oh, on the Gentleman's Highline,
yeah.
Is the Libera Eterni like where all the people who are mad at their fathers go?
So, Libera Eterni are a group of Sylvani. The Sylvani. So there's kind of three broader races.
A Y or an I.
Sylvani is a Y. Yeah. So basically in my universe situation, this is like our world in the semi-distant future, somewhere around 700 to 1,000 years after. I'm not being super hard on the number, but basically there were two different groups that went out into space and set up colonies at slightly different times. The earlier group became known as the Acklins because of the area of the Milky Way that they went to. And then the other one were the Chitrans. The Terrans were the people who kind of stayed in and around Earth and the basic solar system that we know. But essentially what happened was the Chitrans, who were the later group, they were the ones who invented terraforming whole cloth. And they the main group of them were very, very, very libertine in the way that they did things, kind of anarcho-libertine. And they landed on a planet, named it Sylvanus, after the kind of main family that were their sort of de facto anarcho leaders. And basically they became the Sylvani people. That was destroyed because they were kind of like Branch Davidians, but not quite that crazy. They were kind of just like an anarcho world that was doing mostly fine, and then the evil empire came and wreaked havoc on them, destroyed their home world, actually caused the planet to break apart. But they used various forces and things that they had to try and drag a bunch of the pieces kind of in a somewhat structural orbit and essentially build on these what do you call them, fragments of the planet, and kind of create some superstructures around them and whatever else, and it's known now as the Sylvani Trace. So Pandora and Blaze, you'll notice, have the same tattoo. Pandora and Blaze from the Magnus Canis, they have the same tattoos under their eyes as the rest of the Sylvani Scrappers, which are the Libera Eterni people. So those are all people from the Sylvani trace, minus the little dark one further down on Libera Eterni. She's actually sort of like an otaku of Sylvani people. Like she's obsessed with Sylvani people, and so she got the tattoos and like kind of became a part of them.
She's proselytized.
Yeah, exactly. So, but basically their whole thing is they are just essentially anarchists that have the only reason that they've ever fought any kind of war was defensive. They're sort of like, they're not quite communists, so to speak, or anarcho-communists or anything. They're like live and let live by all means, period, sort of people. And every hyper individualized, all that other kind of stuff. And so that's who they are. The Sylvani. So
they're the non-denom folks.
Yes, basically. So that's who they are. And then the George Mixon make, I still need to do more backstory on him and his crew. The Nails crew, Bannister LaRue and his crew, they're sort of like the cutthroats of the ITR industry. They will go out to places that really truly need their help and like essentially blackmail them for various things and all that kind of stuff to get work. They go to places that no one else can get to, right? And charge an arm and a leg for everything. They're just kind of scumbags mostly. Or so it would seem. There's more to them than that, but yeah. Then you got Libera Eterni, you got then the Tranquility. They are a group of former slaves of various types, use your imagination, who all basically came under the command of Missy Ander Tomlinson, who is this charismatic survival story of the worst kind of slavery you can think of. And she has them say some vows and shave their heads and be all like crazy hyper feminist. So yeah. Only females, as you can see. The whole nine. So
and it's pink.
Yep. And they wear the magenta, yeah.
That's just a fancy word for pink.
I'm interested in the Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, he's one of the few that has Ackland blood. Most of the Acklans became part of the evil empire, the Grievian Empire. The Acklans were humans that were very separated for a while because the first colonies were actually subterranean pressurized chambers on various planets. And as a result, they adapted and became extremely pale and had some different features, because of inbreeding and all kinds of other stuff over the years. And so he's part Ackland, mostly Ackland, Silas. And so he's one of the few that aren't part of the Grievian Empire though, because Grievian Empire kind of swallowed everything up. Grievian Empire swallowed everything up because of vampiric technology, which I think I've talked about before on here. But yeah, they basically pioneered vampiric technology. So
yep, kind of like a dark elf thing going on with them.
Yeah,
like subterranean
a little bit.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're technically human, but they've just been so separated for such a long time that they don't appear like any kind of human we would recognize. So, yeah.
I was wondering, because I was like, is he a ghost or... Yeah.
Right.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, most Acklans end up being part of the Grievian Empire just because of all the way everything kind of shifted. Chitrans are all kind of on the outer skirts of things. They're the podunk people of various types. The Sylvani Trace are sort of their that's their Gettysburg, so to speak, is the Sylvani Trace, the last stand, so to speak. And then the Galactic Republican Federation, or GRF, are the mostly Terrans who are trying to civilize the entire world by making obsolete tech illegal and making sure that everyone uses properly updated stuff. So
they can have goose emojis.
Yeah, so they can have goose emojis. Like
Is Coolidge a self-insert?
Not self-insert. There's someone else
Marcus Pittman.
It's Marcus Pittman.
All you had to say was someone else. It was one of the two. Oh man, are there others here that are based on other folks? None of that went through.
I heard it, but I don't know the answer.
No, I can't hear what.
Oh. You cannot hear Joshua.
Yeah.
Check. There we go. Okay, sorry, my thing is getting basically I need to plug my sound directly into my computer, but my hub overheats and it's a whole thing. Anyway, so Pandora on the Magnus Canis is a main character in this thing. In fact, most of the tension of the story revolves around her. She is actually directly based on someone named Xena Lahr, Lahr, who, if you look up her name on YouTube, you'll find some stuff, but she was a Christian in the area of puppetry and like high-tech puppetry and visual arts of like stop motion and other things of that nature. And she was starting to make her way into Hollywood. She kind of did the thing that I do with the bard, but she wasn't a bard. She kind of just dressed herself up in a really weird, eclectic way. She was a very interesting person. She died hiking in the Colorado mountains. She grew up in Colorado. She fell, and there was a tribute someone made to her years ago. If you look up Xena Lahr, Zinalahr. But it was really inspiring to me. And she still had her YouTube channel still up from what I know. Yeah, it is. And just looking back at some of her stuff, the things that she was doing with puppetry, her personality, the fact that she's just like a skin and bones individual in just kind of the weirdest way. She just has a very interesting physicality to her. That made and me being, very inspired just by her work and whatever else really led to Pandora. Her style is completely ripped off. Pandora's style is completely ripped off of Xena Lahr. So let me grab this one. So yeah.
You said the Lahr is spelled how?
I just posted one in the chat. You can see it. Xena Lahr, Lahr.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she's absolutely Pandora. She had a very wide mouth too. Like there's something very animated about her that just that really inspired this character. So yeah.
She looks so wacky. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Honestly, some of the way people reacted to her was a lesser inspiration for, because I already wanted to, I always like, you know, dressing up and being crazy. But that was a lesser idea, like a lesser inspiration for all the bardic wear that I do now. Right? Like treating what you wear as a art piece and an inspiration for other people. Right?
Yeah, I should say I do have an outfit for Saturday, and you will be seeing it later on. Whenever there are pictures for the event. But I am going for crazy and a little bit crazy.
Good.
Because I believe Christians should be the you know, not just for the sake of being smartest in the room, but Christians should be the smartest in the room. And I also think Christians should be the most charismatic in the room, which generally PCA guys hate that word.
Yeah.
But luckily I'm not PCA. Yeah, I'd prefer to be the most outgoing in a good way. Because that can really throw people off at first. They're like, wait, you're Christian, but you are also crazy.
Right, exactly. It's so funny, like the whole, like you said, you were saying Puritan for some of the stuff that you were talking about, and then I had to be like, you mean Pilgrim? Because the Pilgrims dress completely differently.
Yeah.
But
well, there's a person at the festival who dresses up like a pilgrim, saying she's a Puritan, and the whole spiel is like, we can't have fun. Fun is a sin.
Right.
It's a pretty funny thing all around. So, to the crowd there, they're going to recognize it as Puritan.
Oh yeah, totally. Like that ship has sailed. I'm not saying anything about that, but like, it's just really funny to me, like the actual reality of all these things, and there's no good reason why we shouldn't act like the Narnians in Horse and His Boy when Shasta first sees them. You know, our arms flying freely at their sides, didn't give a fig about anyone who didn't give a fig about them, kind of thing. You know, all the stuff that Lewis writes, right? Like they wore bright colors and shirts of mail and shiny silver helmets and, you know, all the rest, and they were just happy to be there, you know, joking with each other, all that kind of stuff. They weren't grave and terrible like the Calormans, as C.S. Lewis put it, you know. But yeah, I just live like a Narnian. Have some fun. We have a God in heaven on the throne we should celebrate.
And finally, we dig into the trenches for a theological debate. The topic, the efficacy of baptism. Does the king's decree outweigh the soldier's understanding? The brood engages in a high-level discussion on justification, sanctification, and the king's fiat. Helmets on!
All right, Joshua. Does baptism save?
In the way Scripture says, yes.
Okay. So if I were to assume what I immediately think of whenever I hear baptism saves, does that mean if somebody is baptized, no matter what happens, they're going to heaven?
Right, that's what most people think. My answer is...
Yeah, but that's what that says.
Right. Well, if you're saying that with no other context, but we have a full context of 66 books. So what does the Bible say?
Yeah, but I'm not reading all of that.
Right. I totally get that.
The Bible clearly says baptism saves.
Yes,
what does that mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Are you asking for my answer?
But what if a man dies before he gets baptized, but he professed faith?
My whole thing is
You're saying if he wasn't baptized,
as a good Calvinist,
he's not going to heaven.
As a good Calvinist, I say the regular means of being saved is baptism, and the only exceptions are the ones by absolute fiat of Christ, like, I will see you in paradise today. Today I'll see you in paradise, right? So the general means of being saved is through baptism. That's what Christ has given us to do, not for the sake of the doing necessarily, but for our sake, for understanding that we are saved by him, right? And so there you go, right? Like that's my answer. And I think that's backed up by 66 books. So so it's Christ's pleasure regardless, but that's how he saves us. Simple. What?
Somebody had said, my point is that the act of baptism is not what saves you. And the response to it is, that's not what Peter says.
Right. Right. People go crazy with that.
Christ saves through baptism because the water rite of baptism unites you to the death and resurrection of Christ.
My whole thing with anyone's talking about this is we want to separate the topic from everything else that we know about Christ, that we know about the covenants, that we know about how everything works. We want an answer as to what this one thing means, as opposed to how are we saved? That's the problem that I always have, right? Like that's the that's the thing that bothers me usually when I have this discussion.
The thing that I've experienced in the pushback against saying baptism saves, which is literally just saying what the Bible says,
Right.
the pushback I get is almost always from very individual-minded Christians.
Yep.
Who don't have an idea, a good idea of covenant. They don't have this idea of what the sacraments actually mean.
Right.
It's very, very interesting to watch.
Well, the other thing is there's an either or. It feels to me in a lot of ways like they believe a triune God has to save us one direct, immediate way, as opposed to both as individuals and as a whole and as all of mankind, as you see what I'm saying, like on multiple different levels. And I'm like, does Jesus save me as an individual? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
He gave me the Holy Spirit, right? Right, exactly. And so my whole thing is they want to talk about how they are individually saved, right? Usually first and foremost. And I want to talk about the king and how he made the decision to save me, right? I'm not interested about me specifically at this particular juncture. I'm interested in what the king says, right? That's what does the king say? What, like, because if the king says something that like beyond whatever ritual I did or had done to me in my life, right, then his will is going to supersede anything else that comes after anyway, right? So I want to know what he says. He says that I can be assured that I am saved because of my baptism, because that's what happened, right? And he says that through multiple apostles in multiple ways. And furthermore, if you, there are various places, both in the Old and New Testament, where it basically says, if you actually want to do the Lord's will, that is a sign that you're saved. If you want to conform yourself to the scripture, that is a sign that you are saved as well. So if I have both of those, and the king said that both of those things are signs, then I'm saved. And it's not because of anything that I think or anything that I did or do. It's because he's got me on a trajectory that I need to constantly be checking, because Hebrews says I need to be checking it. And James says that faith without works is dead, right? So I need to be aware of that and working out my faith with fear and trembling, like Paul says, right? But all of this is his will. All of this is his fiat on my life. And I need to do my duty for him, for sure, but I'm just a peon. Right? Like, he's the king. What he says goes, and I can't change that, right? So that's my thing that I'm always trying to get people, forget about it, just because you're hung up on Peter saying baptism saves. Just get that out of your mind right now. How did the king prescribe for you, a regular plebeian and not the thief on the cross, as the anomaly? Just stop talking about anomalies. How did he make you, the random person in wherever bumble junk place you've ever been from, like where you come from? How did he say that you were to be saved, right? So, yes.
So, not to really start a debate or anything, but Romans 10:9-10 says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation.
Right.
There is no mention of a water baptism there. So
correct, but it implies it because that's something that you're asked to do later. It's a road. It's what you go on, and so I'm saying that Christ can save outside of baptism, but that's still his fiat. It's not something that you do.
Oh no, I'm not suggesting that it's at all by works, because it is not. Right. I'm just saying that if you confess Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that he is raised from the dead, that God raised him from the dead, then you're saved.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's very simple, and people complicate it too much. And that is my 2 cents.
Yeah, and water baptism, is part of what Peter does say, in his, can you find that passage, or they've already brought up that passage, Jesse? By baptism you're saved. Peter does say that.
Peter 3, yeah.
Peter, 1 Peter 3 or 2 Peter 3? I think it's 1 Peter 3, isn't it?
1 Peter 3, yeah.
Yeah. But
21.
the 21 you said?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what is Peter saying there is what most people get hung up on, and I'm like, one of the regular means, because it does say also anyone who eats his bread and drinks this wine will what is the phrase in Corinthians? Whoever eats this bread and drinks this wine. Corinthians.
Proclaims the Lord's death until he comes.
Proclaims the Lord's death until he comes. And there's other places where it says if you proclaim his name, you will be saved. These are the means of grace, is the point. These are the way that God saves you progressively through your whole life in sanctification. So being saved, yes, you need to confess that the Lord Jesus Christ is saved, but sanctification continues through baptism and the Lord's Supper and all those other sorts of things. And that's all part of him saving you. It's not him justifying you. You're justified by your faith, right? But it is him saving you to righteousness, it's saving from sin. Progressively in this life, you're never going to be perfect until you get to heaven, and then you have to come back to your body, after the resurrection. Your fully complete, perfected body. But yeah, it's a continual making better. And so we can rightly say, like Peter, we're saved by baptism because it's a regular means of grace.
I think I don't understand the passage here, except that he's saying that the baptism is like Noah's flood.
That part of it.
First Peter chapter 3. You mean?
1 Peter chapter 3:20 describes Noah and them being saved
by
water.
Go for it, Jesse. I think you got this one.
Flood came. So
Verse 18 and onward. For Christ also suffered once for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive by the Spirit, by whom also he went and preached to the spirits in prison, who formerly were disobedient, when once the divine long-suffering waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is, 8 souls, were saved through water. Before I even get to the second half there, in other words, the disobedient people were killed because of the water. The water destroyed them utterly.
yes, I
But
do
that
understand.
same water is the thing that saved a few, 8 souls, that's all of creation, inside of the ark. There is also an antitype now which saves us, baptism. Not by the removal of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward God, through the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who has gone into heaven and is at the right hand of God. Angels and authorities and powers have been made subject to him. In the same sense that the waters of the flood destroyed all the wicked, but saved the few because they were not immersed.
Yeah.
We can be saved because that baptism is like co-crucifixion with Jesus and like a resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the blotting out of the sin and making us clean before God, because God is no longer seeing us for us, he's seeing us for Jesus.
And he's not saying saved as in saved from eternal damnation. He's saying saved from the bondage of sin. Right? The bondage of sin and death. That's something a lot of people don't get either. You're talking about justification in regard to confessing with your mouth. You're 100% right. That's what you need to be justified. As far as being sanctified, which means continual saving from the bondage of sin, because we're still slaves to sin the moment we confess Christ, right? We're progressively becoming slaves to Christ, right? It doesn't mean that we're not justified. We're justified the second that happens, but Christ is turning back the curse on us through sanctification. So this isn't about justification before the Father. We're justified. We're going to heaven. That's how we're saved. But because we've equated, once again, this is what a lot of Roman Catholics did. They equate sanctification and justification as the same thing. They're not. Once saved, you're saved when you confess, right? That's.
And why wouldn't you be made free then as well?
Because we're still in bondage to sin. Paul himself says, "I still do the things that I don't want to do." Right?
It's a sign of sanctification. This is your trajectory.
Right. We're not immediately perfect, right?
Oh no, well that's because we can't be perfect while we're alive.
Right. And so, but God begins to turn that back. He begins to change our wants to want to be like him. So this, when we're saying saved, we're being saved from the bondage, not from eternal damnation. We are saved from eternal damnation when we are justified, when we confess with our mouth, like you said, 100%. But we are saved from the bondage of sin through a life of continual repentance, not because we're repenting, but because God is working in us that continual repentance through things like baptism and the Lord's Supper, right?
Well,
not you. Sorry, the other thing.
What other thing?
We die to sin in baptism. Jesus died to sin. He who has died to sin has been justified. Thus, baptism justifies. That was the thesis, and the antithesis was Hebrews 11, 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them who diligently seek him.
Okay, was that from Scott?
The antithesis was not from Scott.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Anyway, I think Jesse and I are agreed on this one. What I was saying, you agree with what I was saying, right?
I'm like trying to half listen, half pay attention to this, which is a really bad idea. It never works.
Well, I really am gonna have to get to go. They get to work and stuff, but I appreciate y'all being here and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of fun. So, and we're just two guys. We're just two guys talking theology. Don't be put off by us. We get intense because we care. Not about anything. Like, we care about theology. We care about Christ, and we care about our sister. It's not anything weird. So if we get intense, don't be put off.
I also I enjoy theological discussions, but
yay,
I'm not necessarily very articulate. So I apologize.
I understand that. I wasn't always articulate either, and I'm not saying I was even articulate this time, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Talk soon.
Catch it.
All right.
You too can be a part of the brood of writers and poets at war. Just visit joshuadavidling.com/discord to join. If you're a true poetry patriot, you can support us on Substack and Patreon and get the recordings of all of our encouraging and strategic meetings, along with much more. Once again, all links can be found at joshuadavidling.com. Over and out.
God of songs said the